Let's be honest, base layers can be tricky. Yeah, let's just face it. Base layers can be tricky. What to wear, there's so many different types. There's Under Armour 2.0, there's wool, there's stretch, there's polyester, there's all kinds of things you can wear for base layers. But today, we're gonna talk about what to wear, or what I wear, and why I wear it. Let's first start off by talking about what is a base layer. A base layer is basically a system of clothing that you wear starting off at your core or your base, and then layering from there. So the base layer is your bottom layer, the one that touches your skin, the one that wicks moisture, the one that keeps you warm down to the nitty gritty. Basically, a base layer could be considered a pajama. A lot of times the cowboys would wear those red pajamas with, the buttonholes in the back. That was their base layer. They wore that to keep them warm. So it's a similar concept when you go into the world of hiking. So when you're hiking in cold or winter weather, or even sometimes autumn or fall weather, you need a base layer. And that base layer keeps you warm when you're sleeping at night, it keeps you warm during the day, but it also traps your body heat in and allows you to sustain a regular temperature throughout the whole day in sometimes negative degree weather. That's Fahrenheit or Celsius, depending on how you look at it. As of right now, it is 1 degree out today. And it's had a little bit of snow and some ice on the ground, and I ran out in my base layer and filmed a little section of this video, as you probably just saw. Let's talk a little bit about what a base layer is. A base layer is basically a system of clothing. So it's a system layer of layers and layers and layers, but the base layer is the one that touches your core, the one that keeps your core warm the most. So a base layer could be something as simple as a synthetic t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt, or some synthetic long underwear, but stay away from cotton. The number one rule of a base layer is stay away from anything cotton. You're better going off with a synthetic, or what I prefer is a wool. I like a wool base layer because I feel that it wicks better, it keeps you warmer, it traps in your body heat, and it also dries very, very quickly if necessary. One of the biggest reasons for hypothermia in hiking is when someone sweats and then they stop moving their body and their clothing is wet and they can't get that clothing dry and they don't know what's going on and they're freezing. So that's why you want something that wicks the sweat away from your body, something that dries quickly, and your body heat can actually dry your clothing. Most of the time when I hike at night, even in the summertime, I will throw my socks in my pockets when I sleep, and that warmth of my body will dry those socks out by morning, and I can reuse them if necessary if they're not too terribly stinky. So those are that's the reason for base layers. Then of course from that base, you do layer on top of that. So I usually go a wool base layer, then a stretchy type of shirt with a little zip up half up here, and then over top of that I'll do a fleece, and then over top of that sometimes a down jacket or sometimes a wool sweater depending on the temperature outside. And then on top of that down jacket I usually have a raincoat or a windbreaker. So you can see I have several systems of layering that are in there. I don't always wear them at the same time, but if I'm at camp I usually have every one of those items on at one time, or if I'm right before I go to bed, I want to warm my body up, so I'll put them all on right before I snuggle into my down comfy hammock or tent. So that is base layer and the reason for base layer. Now let's talk about the differences between wool versus synthetic. Now I would say if you sweat a lot, if you know that you're a sweaty human being, you probably want to go with more of a synthetic base layer. And the reason why is it really does wick away that sweat away from your body. It wicks it away from the clothing and through the other side a lot faster, and then evaporates that sweat. So if you're a sweaty person, I know it's gross to think about, but if you are a sweaty person, you're probably best using a synthetic. So that is the pro of synthetic. Let me talk about one of the cons of synthetic and the reason why I personally don't use it. I don't like synthetic base layer because I feel that right when you start to sweat, it cools your body a little bit, so you're actually losing heat because that sweat makes your body a little bit colder. So whenever I'm out in cold weather, I feel cold right off the bat when I have that base layer on. It takes a lot for my body and my energy to warm up the synthetic material. Where wool, you automatically feel warm and cozy right off the bat. Right when you get out of bed, you don't feel that cold kind of a frog skin feeling to it, or maybe a swimsuit feeling to it. That's why I prefer the wool. Now a wool base layer is really good if you're going out in really cold weather. While a synthetic is good for most moderate cold weather. I mean, we're talking about Fahrenheit 0 degrees or above synthetic, and wool I would go below. But I also bring my wool in 20s, 30s, just because I feel like it's the best way. And there's different levels. There's also many levels of wool. You can get a lighter weight wool, you can get a very heavier, thick wool, same thing with synthetic. So just know that there are different options that are out there for you. One of my favorite base layers, and I carry it with me all the time, it's called Thermasilk. I'll see if I can find a logo and put it in somewhere right around here. But Thermasilk, and I'll definitely have a link in the description. The Thermasilk is, you can get it on Amazon. I think it's $30 for pants, $30 for the top, so $60 for the outfit. And it's a very thin silk base layer, and it's good for 50-degree weather or 55 or 60-degree weather. Most people are like 60 degrees. I don't need 60-degree base layer, but when you're in the top of a mountain and it's 6 degrees during the day, but then at nighttime it drops to the 40s, you might want a little something to keep you warm. So I use what's called Thermasilk, and it's almost a sheer see-through, very sexy in the bedroom type of material that you can use while you're out on the trail. So those are the 3 types of base layers that I would recommend. Make sure the number 1 rule is that you do not use any cotton. So all that stuff you find at Walmart, that old Long John stuff that you wore as a kid, really is no good because it's made of cotton. So stay away from that stuff while you're out hiking the trails. Use a synthetic. Some of the brands that I would recommend are Under Armour. There's an Under Armour 2.0 that's a little bit thicker and warmer. It's a little bit more expensive, but it is worth it if you're going out on the trail. It could save your life. So Under Armour. There's also some Nike brands that are more for workout. But then there's wool. There's Smart Wool, which is the more expensive. But on Amazon, there's a company, I can't remember what it's called. There's a lot of different ones that have the black. I think it comes in black or gray wool outfits that you can buy, and you can actually look at the grade of them and find out how thick those wool layers are. And those are usually right around the same price, $30 or $40 for the pants and $30 or $40 for the top. So for under $100, you're getting a base layer that will keep you warm all day, and that will allow you to work comfortably and not overheat, have your body still be able to breathe, but still keep you very warm. That's basically my review on base layers. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's a hike life, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully you guys are liking it. I'm trying to pump out gear reviews on every single Tuesday, so we're calling it Gear Review Tuesday. I had 2 so far, and then I went on a little trip, and I was actually not able to make any videos during the trip. I do have some that are up and coming. I'm gonna really take my time to do some edits. Yeah, let me just talk about this for a quick second. I'm trying to make the channel better. And by doing so, I'm taking my time on the videos. I'm going to try to make more quality videos and less just pumping things out just for fun. Although I will have some fun videos as well, I want to make a little bit more quality because these do live on the internet forever, and I want you guys to look at them, enjoy them, like and share them, and be something, I want to be proud of them myself, and I want you guys to enjoy watching them. So thank you so much for tuning in. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here at all. So thank you so much. Please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching Chris Trout's Hike Life film. Take care, guys. Oh, wanted to show you one more thing. Look, so I was getting a buff, you know, one of those neck guards in the mail off of Amazon, and I was so excited about it. My last name is Trout, so you know, I happened to find this little Trout buff on the internet and on Amazon, and it came, and I was like, oh yes, a Trout buff, and it arrived, and what the heck are these things? Finger buffs. Wah, wah, wah.